Without further ado, let's watch our game number one for John John versus Johnny C. Let's go, Papa Kulas.
Let's go. Yeah, Johnny C versus John John. This is game number one, everyone. So I hope you are excited to witness this awesome match, and we are going to see the point of view of Johnny C. And yep, starting a little bit slow here in the lane number five. We are seeing all of them using a dragon or the blue dragons to be exact, and slowly getting in some dragons in the line number two. And as you can see, there's a speed dragon coming in line number two. We have a little bit of action going in. I think Johnny C. Oi, there's a freeze coming in for the side of Johnny C on line number two, while on line number five, oh, slowly getting that damage done, slowly getting there. But line number five, it's now we have a little bit of action going in slowly here, but there's a bomb for John John to prevent things from happening. While on line three, there was a power up. I think that's gonna be a stun. It's a little gonna be a big factor if that things will get done until this one. And the line number four slowly getting that power up to stun 3 seconds. But on line number three, slowly getting there. The armor still there for Johnny C, but it will be deactivated by John John. Now, it's really a good matchup here. We have Ash of our game number one. There's a small dragons coming in line number five, taking down some HP for Johnny C, but there was a power up on the line number two, getting this slowly here, and there's a barrier for Johnny C's on his lineup. And so far, line number one, we have a little bit of push coming in, but the action that we need to see is the line number three. The freeze is there, slowly pushing in towards John John, and I think that's gonna be it for the line number three. Johnny C will take that damage. It's really slowly getting that HP to lower. 150 versus 545 HP. It's gonna be a little bit different here. There's a small dragon, but there was a bomb prevented by John John as well on the line number four. Here we go, another action in line number three, but that you can see on that line two, there's a small dragon that's 60%, 60 damage already, and I think that's gonna be it for John John and Johnny C. Take game number one. Really close for me.
All right. Congratulations, Johnny C, for having 1 point for our batch number one. And Papa Kulas, this game is actually it's a good fight. Actually,
A good fight, yeah.
yes, I love how Johnny C handle the freeze dragon there, because we know
Mhm.
that if we are using a freeze dragon, we need to have a right timing when to drop it, right? All right.
All point for the power ups as well. He got what he need, especially the stun. That's a 3 second stun. It's gonna be a big factor for the power ups for our teams.
Yes, you're right, Papa Kulas. And let's not delay the game number two, and let's move on to our game number two.
Okay.
Let's go.
Game number two. Let's see if John John can even it into 2 or 1-1, or Johnny C will make it 2-0 on this. This is a best of five, by the way, guys. So first uh competitor or first team to get a 3-0 will advance to the next round. And yeah, we are now heading to game number two. Still, our teams, or both of our team, are strategizing what line they need to prioritize first, but it seems that they started on line number four, while Johnny C wants that power up on line number five. While on line number one, already taking down that armor, but line number four, there was a barrier committed already, and the freeze by Johnny C. So we have a little bit of action early in this stage. There's a freeze once again, and there's a bomb to prevent that from happening, while John John is now prioritizing that power up or shield for his dragons. But you look at that line number three, another dragon slowly marching down. That HP is already 45 down. 920 versus 867 HP. But another action here on number 5. We have a little bit of push coming in and another bomb that was prevented by John John. Wow, our teams are both of our competitors are now really having the time of their life. And while on the other hand, Johnny C getting that damage. And on the line number 3, another tug of war happening. There's no space for Johnny C to put some dragons here, but he will let that slide in while he take that power up. While that's happening on the line number 3, Johnny C is slowly taking some damage here. It's a really close fight here on our game number 2, and now we have a tug of war. The line number 1, they want that armor, but John John will take that, and Johnny C will just go with the line number 5. Again, that small dragon is really getting the damage done, even if there was some action in line number 2. He's slowly but surely all getting the damage done against John. And line number 3, Johnny C will let things slide, and there's a freeze, and there's a stun as well. That's 4 second stun, by the way. So that's really a good factor here. There's an action, 37 versus 68. There's a bomb. This is a really close fight. Let's see who will win. There's another power up on the line number 5. We have a little bit of tag of war here. John John wants to seal the deal, but Johnny C don't want to let that happen. And there's another small dragon on line number 5 sneaking in, and this is going to be a very interesting match. But line number 3, as you can see, there's a push from our from dragons, and this is Johnny C game number 2 with a 2-0.
Well, that is a shocking game. That is so close. Papa Kalas.
It's a comeback. Actually, it's a comeback from Johnny C, and it's DragonMaster is like a test of luck as well. It's like a random or shuffle of cards or dragons. So if you really have that passive luck in your hands, it's gonna be activated in real life as well.
Yes. And actually, that is a shocking game because Johnny C had a turnaround game. But let us know if Johnny C will finish the game, because again, this is a best of 5 game match,
Yeah.
and first to have 3 points will win the game. Can Johnny C have 3 points, or can John John turn around the game? So let's find out. Papa Kalas, let's go for the game number 3.
Okay, game number 3 in our hands. Is it going to be a 3-0, or John John can turn things around, or if we force a game number 4? Let's see here. So it starts with game number 3. This is where the rubber match begins if John John wants to advance or to push this through a game number 5. As you can see, all of our teams or our competitors are slowly taking some damage, taking down that armor, and Johnny C wants that power up for the stun. That's gonna be a 3 or 4 second stun. That's a really big factor here. He's reserving that large dragon for the power up, and 920, 980, 873 is the scoreboard or the HP for both our teams. We have here a line number 4. There was a bomb to prevent that push, and we have here a freeze from Johnny C. And this is going to be a really tough matchup if Johnny C want to get this 3-0. But there's a line number 4. There was a damage there, but there was another bomb coming from John John. Line number 5, I think we're gonna see a little bit of action here, slowly pushing in. There was a freeze. They need that power up, but on line number 1, John John get that damage. 613 for Johnny C, 740 for John John, and this is going to be Johnny C's line number 5 will be getting that damage from 670. And now it's to 380, while on line number 3, there was a damage there. That's already been 40, and so it's already 120 damage. And also John John wants that power up or the armor for his team so that it can be prevented from damaging. But line number 1, Johnny C also getting that armor, 1.40 armor. And there's a freeze on line number 5. Once again, our teams really like to have a fight in that line. That's a favorite line. So to get to do a tag of war, it's now down to 104.94. There was a bomb to prevent that slimmer of HP coming in from Johnny C. John is now here at 54 HP 191. There was a freeze once again, and I think the line number 2 is really struggling here for Johnny C. There was a bomb once again on line number 3, and I think that's going to be it. Johnny C will take that 3-0 to advance in the next round.
Thank you, Papa Colas. That was a mind-blowing match, and Johnny C is very lucky for this game match because it was a 3-0 game. Look at that, Papa Colas.
And he really maximized that freeze on the line number 5. Even if the Dragons for John have the upper hand on that particular skirmish or on that tag of war, he needs that space. He needs that freeze to create some space to have a power up on that particular, and the line number 5 since game 1 to game 3, that's their favorite line to do a tag of war.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that, Papa Colas. And Papa Colas?
I am excited. I want to see a game number 5.
Oh, with the close fight game, that is very
Yeah, with a close fight game.
Yes, interesting. All right, without further ado, let's start the second batch game. Game number 1. Let's go. Junichiro versus Aries.
Junichiro and Aries. Yeah, game number 5, guys. I hope you are enjoying our next this match or the other match earlier, and I hope you the same energy that you brought earlier will come to this next best of 5 series. As you can see, there's no action yet. Slowly getting that small dragons, line number 3, line number 4, and 5. Taking down armors is what they're prioritizing right now. And there's a shield coming in for the side of Ares. And there's another line number 5 matchup. There was a freeze coming in. There's no space in between for the other side. And here we go, a tug of war coming from that line number 5, and Junichiro will have that damage dealing from his side. And speaking of which, we also have an action here coming in for line number 4, slowly taking down that HP bar as well with that barrier for the line number 4 and line number 3. And I think this is going to be an even or a close matchup per se, to be precise here on our teams. And there's no action coming in, but they are prioritizing that power up. But on line number 5, slowly taking that damage, slowly a 60 minus 60 per 60 damage here on the HP with the power up on the line number 3 with the, I think that's gonna be a barrier, and an invulnerability for that HP to lower down. And line number 5, that's really taking where the damage is, and this is going to be, there's a freeze and there's a push, a tug of war coming in for this line number 5, and I think that's going to be it. Game number 1 will belong to Junichiro. Slow pace. There's no matchup. There's no action coming in. They're just prioritizing the HP getting down and the armors as well. So it's gonna be a game number 1 belongs to Junichiro.
All right. I think that I thought that it was a friendly fight, but it turns out a close fight in the end. And let's see if Aries will turn around the game in the game number 2. Let's go for the game number 2.
Let's go.
Again, it's Junichiro versus Aries.
Okay, here we go. Game number 2, guys. On game number 1, it's just no action, just prioritizing taking down the HP and the armor for both of our teams. I think they're gonna do the same thing here in game number 2. Line number 3, there's some small dragons coming in, summoning, and also on the line number 5, while Ares wants that power up on line number 4. He will successfully get that to additional armor for his side, but on here on line number 3, there was another freeze coming in. There was a push. There's also a freeze coming from Ares. And let's see, this is going to be a tag of war once again. But on that line number 5, there's an HP dealing coming in from Junichiro. And yeah, this is going to be Junichiro's line number 3. He will be successful taking down all of those damage from Ares. It's now down to 575, but Ares now will return the favor on line number 4. 620 is his HP left, but on that line number 5 as well, you could get that power up for invulnerability against Junichiro. And well, on line number 3, this is going to be really interesting. They don't want any matchup or anything going on line number 1 and line number 2, and Ares is not doing anything to prevent that damage on line number 3. This is a very interesting strategy for Ares. He just want what's has been given towards the end on this lineup. To see who will come first. It's going to be a race line here, but I think it's going to be, oh no, there was a freeze coming in from Ares, and there's an armor as well coming in from line number 4, but it's not going to be enough as Junichiro took game number 2.
Alright, that is a one lane strategy, Papa Kalas. Usually players doing that as a safe game, like a play safe game, and defending in the last game. So it turns out like that. And again, congratulations, Junichiro, for winning 2 points. Can Ares turn around the game, or can Junichiro finish the game match? And Papa Kalas?
Okay, let's go ahead and find out if this is going to be another 3-0 match, or Ares will have the game number 3 to force a game number 4.
Alright, let's go. Game number 3, match number 2.
All right, guys, let us go. Junichiro and Ares, game number 3. Will this be another 3-0 that we are going to witness, or Ares will turn things around to force a game number 4? And so far, just like in game number 1 and game number 2, playing safe for both of our competitors. They don't want any action coming in, but on line number 4, there's an early freeze coming from Ares, and he will let Junichiro will let that slide as he wants that line number 5 to deal some damage, but Ares will be the first to break his armor. 777 is now the HP, while slowing getting also that armor on the line number 5. And there's another damage, 780, and it's another freeze coming in. Junichiro wants that power up to stun at least 4 seconds for Ares to not dealing or do not put some dragons on the line. And it's same strategy so far for Junichiro. He wants that line number 3. Any action here coming in from line number 5, there was a freeze, there was a little bit of tug of war action going in, but Junichiro will let that slide in as he wants that power up for additional HP on line number 4. Although there was a bit of massive damage being given as well on for Junichiro and Ares. This is gonna be a close game number 3 match, 390 versus 395 HP, but Ares will be dominating that line number 3, and also Junichiro returning the favor on line number 5. There was a freeze coming in, slowly but surely. He wants that line number 3 dominated once again. A freeze coming from Junichiro. Let's see, another tug of war, another freeze. Oh, another freeze here. That's like a triple freeze coming in from Junichiro, and this is going to be a win, I think, already for Junichiro as he dominates that line number 3. And Junichiro, another 3-0, and we'll move on to set.
So let's go for our third match. Game number 1. It's Bryle versus Ruthless. Papa Kalas, take it away.
Let's go, guys. I will be taking it away from everyone, but this is game number 1. Ruthless versus Bryle, and we're going to see the point of view of Ruthless on this match. So game number 1, we are seeing their cards, still the same cards that we see for the past couple of series. And starting a little bit here on line number 2, there was a damage there. He wants to take down all the armors first, and then they can proceed with their strategy. Line number 1 and line number 5 are now maximizing it. Ruthless getting that armor taken away, but Bryle is now returning the favor here on our game number 1. They want that power up, or Bryle want that power up on that line number 4, and also getting the damage done as well. We haven't seen any like a tug of war or actions for now. They are prioritizing a freeze or a damage, and this is a play safe strategy. They avoid action from happening as well, slowly getting that damage against each other. Line number 4, I think this is going to be the first tag of war that we're about to see. They want that power up. There's a freeze coming from Bryle. They want that stun, and also a freeze returning the favor for Ruthless. And I think this is going to be Ruthless's line number 4. He will win that line, but Bryle wants that line number 5 to deal some damage as well. And now down to 155 HP for Bryle against 400 for Ruthless. And as you can see, guys, we have here a little bit of a tag of war once again on line number 3, but there's a freeze coming in and slowly pushing that line or that lane, and this is going to be Ruthless being Ruthless in game number 1.
Alright, congratulations Ruthless for winning the game number 1. That Peace Dragon win the last fight. And Papa Kulas?
It's really a great, I can say a clutch freeze coming from Ruthless. Being Ruthless, living in his name, being Ruthless in the last moments of the game number 1 seals the deal for him. That's why he got a 1-0 advantage against Bryle. Well, I think this is going to be a close match. We already saw it on the game number 5. Let's see what will happen in game number 2.
Alright, game number 2. Batch number 3. Let's go, Bryle versus Ruthless.
Alright, guys, here we go. Game number 2. Will it be a 2-0 or a 1-1? Now, Ruthless is on the red side, I think. We'll see here. Same strategy for both of our teams. And now line number 4, we'll get things done here. We have a little bit of a tag of war on line number 4, but I think Ruthless is going to get that line number 4 and also taking down that damage. Line number 5 is what we believe the line that is having a lot of action since the first 2 series of our game, and I think this is going to be Bryle winning that line number 5 and getting that damage done, while on the other hand Ruthless wants that power up on the line number 4 with their barrier against the Bryle. But there was a freeze coming in just to prevent things from happening, but Bryle does not want that to happen as well, as he takes over the line number 3, slowly getting that damage against Ruthless. But I think there's gonna be no space in for line number 5 as Ruthless with that freeze to prevent Bryle getting that tag of war perhaps on that line number 5, getting that damage done as well. And line number 3, we have here a little bit of strategy coming in from Bryle. He let that slide in earlier and he wants to deal some damage here in the line number 3, but slowly taking down that number 4. And there's a freeze once again. He wants that push. Ruthless wants that push. There's no space in between. Here we go. Line number 4 is really getting into their nerves, but I think this is going to be Bryle's line number 4, and as he will take down or took game number 2. Guys, we have a 1-1 here. 1-1.
That is a close fight. Look at that space. What a
No
shocking
space
move.
given.
Yes.
No space given for Ruthless.
Yes, and Bryle has a space with the Excel Dragon, and that was a good march to the end. And again, congratulations, Bryle. We have 1-1 right now, and I think that's gonna be a good fight between the Bryle and versus Ruthless.
Yeah, they are on the first part of the match. They playing safe, but on the latter part, they really getting each other on their nerves, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go for the game number three. Batch three, Bryle versus your Ruthless. Papa Colas?
Here we
Okay.
go. Game number three, guys. For sure, this is going to be a 2-1. This is going to be a 2-1 score. But
For
we are
sure.
going to see another Bryle point of view. So Ruthless will be on the red side. As you can see, same strategy for both teams for game 1 and 2. Slowly but surely, they want just they're really playing safe when it comes to their lane matchup. They just want that armor to be taken down, but Ruthless will be the first to do that against Bryle. There's a freeze once again. A little bit of a tug of war. Bryle returning the favor with his freeze on his own. And I think there's going to be Bryles winning that lane or line number 2. And Ruthless will let things slide as he is now focusing on line number 4 to get that power up for a little bit of breathing room on his HP area. But Bryle is now on working on that particular armor. And Ruthless is now having some dragons on the line number 4 to deal some damage. I think there's an early freeze coming in from Bryle, but it's worthwhile because he's dealing some much damage here versus Ruthless. But Ruthless is slowly but surely returning the favor as well. And Bryle is just focusing on line number 1. He said to Ruthless, if you're gonna be on line number 4, I will be at line number 1 dealing damage as well. And Ruthless is now getting that power up slowly, but I think this is going to be enough for Bryle as he or there will be a freeze coming in. This is going to be a matchup at the tug of war on the line number 2. He gets that stun, but Bryle will take this game number 3 to have a 2-1 lead.
All right, that was a I think friendly fight
Friendly,
because
a friendly fight.
friendly fight because they are usually focused on one lane, and
Mm,
Ryle has an advantage with here because he has a high damage and
mhm.
Ruthless is defending on his
More
lane,
on
but
defense.
yes, defending, but it's too late for that because
Yeah.
there's no space on the last march for Bryle. And again, congratulations for Bryle because we have now a 2-1 score. Papa Colas.
Yeah, this is really exciting. Let's see if Ruthless can come back to this game number 5 or game number 4, or Bryle will finish it off with a 3-1 lead. So yeah,
Let's
so
find out.
excited.
All right, let's go for the game number 4. Papa Colas.
Let's go. Okay, so this is going to be a Ruthless's point of view right now. We're going to see. So this is game number 4. Let's see if Ruthless can even it to what to 2-2 to force at least another best of 1. And slowly here we have like another playing safe field. Ruthless is now focusing on that lane number 4. Bryle getting that breathing room on his HP, but getting the damage done for the side of Ruthless. It's a high damage to given for by Ruthless. There was a freeze, an early freeze maybe for Bryle. I'm not so sure, but he is Ruthless is now focusing on that line number 5 and line number 4 to get that power up and also the damage. This is like what we saw on game number 3, that they are avoiding any conflicts, they're avoiding any tug of war, but they are slowly getting that damage in on each other. It's a close fight here in game number 4. Ruthless get that power up for additional heal or HP, but here is the tug of war begins. There was a freeze on line number 2. There was a little bit of push. There's no space for Ruthless to play some dragons, and as he will now focus on line number 2, even if he lost that line number 4, he will get that damage on that line number 2, 135 to 115. Who will be the victor here on game number 4? There was a barrier and a shield coming in from Ruthless, and we have a game number 5, guys, as we expect, as we hope rather. for our or series number 3. We just talk about this. We want the game number 5
Yeah.
now. It don't don't ask, it shall be given, or be careful what we wish for.
Yeah.
We got it. We got the game number 5.
Oh my, we have a 2-2. Right now, who will win for the next game? That is a
It's
game number.
anybody's ball game.
Yes,
It's
good.
anybody's ball game now.
I'm so excited for the game number 5. So again, congratulations and advance congratulations. Who will win this game? Just comment down
Yeah.
below, guys. Who will support? Who will you support the players? Is it Bral or Ruthless? Let's find out, Papa Kulas, and let's go for the game number 5 for a last match of the batch number 3. All right.
Let's go. So they Ruthless Force a best of 1. So this is a winner takes all. So whoever wins this match will advance to the next round or to the semifinals happening tomorrow here also in the Twitch Dragon Master official. And here we go, guys. Same strategy for both of our teams, but as of now, early skirmish coming in from line number 4. Bryle is our point of view. There's a freeze as well from Ruthless. They're returning the favor. Slowly pushing in. A little bit of tag of war. Bryle with the freeze. I'm having a brain freeze as well. But Bryle will win that lane number 4 as we move on, or Ruthless will move on from that loss, focusing on that power up. The stun is a little bit of factor here. That's a 4-second stun. Another damage deal coming from Ruthless. There was a freeze, and there was another matchup coming in from line number 4. They don't want line 1, 2, and 3. They just want to fight in this line 4 and number 5 as we take on this game number 5. And Ruthless will let that slide. He will be just focusing on that power up on line number 5. But this is like a lot of HP is losing from Ruthless. Bryle is leading on this particular game number 5. As we move on here in line number 2 as well, there was a shield coming in from Bryle. And also the damage has been done already, but another matchup coming in from line number 2. We have a little bit of a tag of war coming in. There's no space for Bryle to put some dragon as he will be just focusing on line number 4 and line number 5, but the damage has been done already. Let's see what will happen. Bryle will be slowing, taking down the damage. 134 versus 146, but on line number 5, a lot of small dragons coming in. Who will win? Who will win the race? Who will win? Bryle. Let's see. Or there was a push, there was a freeze, but Bryle will take game number 5 against Ruthless, and he will be advancing to the next round. This is the last series for the night. So whoever wins this best of 5 series will complete our semifinals aspirant there.
Yes.
Wow, aspirant.
Pirate, I love that. And let's not delay, Papa Kulas, and let's start the last batch for today's game. Okay, game number 1, we have Litz versus K. And Papa Kulas, take it away.
There we go. I will be taking it away from all of you guys. K versus Litz, game number 1. This is their best of 5 series. Let's see if they're going to mimic the game number the last match that went on game number 5. But here we go. Playing safe for both of our for both teams or for both competitors. Kai and Litz, they're just focusing to take down that armor on their respective opponent, but slowly but surely taking down the damage. There's a bomb coming in from Litz, preventing that from happening. And line number 5 will be a free roam from Litz. He will take that damage, but line number 1, another bomb for Litz. And there's a freeze coming in. He is reserving that XL or extra large dragon on that side, and he will be focusing now. Or let's look at here at line number 4. We will be seeing that damage taking down as well on the line number 5. But line number 4, we have a little bit of matchup going on. As you can see here, K will win that line. And also another matchup or tag of war coming in on the line number 5. There was a freeze coming in, slowly taking down that HP against Let's. K will have to push some damage against Let's on line number 5, and he successfully do that. There's going to be like it's like an a, not much of a close matchup because Kai is leading here towards Let's, but another tag of war can be given here on the line number 3. Let's see if there's gonna be enough space coming in from K to push down. Oh, this is going to be a tight matchup. Let's see what will happen. Kai will be pushing down that lane number 5. There's gonna be a stuck. There's no space in for both of our competitors. That line number 3 is not gonna move unless there's gonna be a bomb or a freeze for both teams or for our both competitors. But K will get that damage done on that line number 5 and line number 4. We have the freeze coming in, slowly pushing in. K, I think this is going to be it for K as he take game number 1. I like that line number 3. It will not move. No one is giving up on that line, and they move on to line number 4 and line number 5. But K will have the upper hand there as he leads the series 1-0.
Yes, they try to put dragons again and again with the third lane, but there's no space. Hello.
There's no space in between. Okay, let's move
just pick
on
me.
to the other line.
It's like saying the other lanes that pick me, I'm a P.
Hey, we're still here, you know.
Waving, waving.
That's why we have lines number 1 to 5, not just line 3, guys.
And I saw the freeze dragon again for the win. I'm marching to the victory, and yeah, let's go. And again, congratulations, Kay, for winning the game number 1. And let's go for the game number 2. Papakalas.
Game number 2. Okay, let's see if this is going to be like the game number 1, wherein there's no spaces in between, so they don't want enough space. They're not space invaders. But game number 2, Let's versus K. We will see the point of view of Let's here, and slowly, still a play safe strategy for both of our teams. Line number 5, K here will let that slide in, or Let's will let that slide in. There's a freeze coming in from Let's on the line number 3. Another matchup coming in on line number 3. Double freeze provided by Let's on that line, and he will be successful to take down the armor, and the damage has been done for Let's here against K. But there was also a damage being given or being delivered by K, returning the favor exactly. But this is just like game number 1. Oh, there's a stun. There's a freeze coming in for K. Double freeze once again. I'm having a brain freeze or a brain blast on this game number 2 as K will win that line as Let's Ken will move on and let that slide in. He will be focusing on that lane number 3, getting that 20 kilos worth of stone to deal some damage. And also, K will return the favor as he focuses on line number 3 where he won that round earlier, but slowly taking that damage on line number 5. Really, Let's is getting that damage done with the small dragons on his sleeves. And as we see here on line number 4, K will win that line. Let's will let that slide in, but this is going to be slowly but surely. Again, a damage has been done. There was a push coming in from Let's and K, but Let's will not be will had enough. He will take game number 2. Oh, 1-1 is our score.
Yes, and we have a 1-1 again, Papa Kulas. That was a good game, and are we getting a game number 5 again?
Maybe this is a close matchup. They don't want anyone, or they really being competitive here when it comes to their matchup. They don't want anything. They're not holding back when it comes to their matchup. And we have a lot of tug of war coming in, especially that line number 3. Line number 3 tells a different story here for our series. So let's see on game number 3 if that's going to be the case.
Yes, and if you see Papa Colas, stand buff is very important here. Having a stand buff is a big impact, but
Mm-hmm.
though Kai have the stand buff, it's not enough to win the
Mm-hmm.
game. But let's see if Kay wins will win the next match. Or he will turn around the game. So let's go
Mm-hmm.
to the game number 3. Papa Colas.
Okay, let's see. Game number 3, guys. Who will take the 2-1 advantage? Let's and K. Again, we will see the point of view of Let's. Armors being distributed. They're just waiting for their dragons to load up, and we can see the match. So they started a little bit slow here again. Same strategy, but later on we will see that tag of war for our competitors here in game number 3. Line number 2 is now being having a rough time for the side of K, but he slowly took down that armor. But Let's is not going to return the favor as well by bringing down as that armor as well with the dealing damage. And there's a freeze coming in from K on line number 4. There's a little bit of space, a double freeze, returning the favor by Let's. And I think K will let this slide in as he will be moving on to line number 5, getting that power up or additional HP coming in for the side of K. And Let's will take that slight massive damage against K. There's a freeze coming in, but it's not going to be enough. There's a bit of playing safe here. Blitz is just returning the favor. What Kai is doing it on line number 3 is doing right now on line number 4. They're just taking each other's damage or HP, but Blitz is kinda having a little bit of advantage here. 259 against 433. K will get that armor to prevent some of the damage dealing from happening against Let's, but that line number 4 again slowly taking that damage done. Let's, there was a freeze coming in to prevent that push, to prevent that defense, and this is going to be, there will be a stun, but it's not going to be enough. Let's will take the 2-1 lead against K.
Alright, thank you, Papa Kulas. Look at the first dragon left and right. The dragons, but still, Litz has a big damage in the early game. That
Mhm.
was her advantage, and that's why he win this game in number 3.
And
And
also the stun power up is came a little bit late for
yes.
K.
Mm.
There was a freeze happening already to prevent that defense from K, and Let's doing a great job utilizing that freeze properly. That's why he won that game number 3. And let's see on game number 4 what will happen. It's going to be 2-2, or well, we'll move on to semifinals.
Alright, let's find out and let's go on to our game number 4. Again, it's Litz versus K. Papa Kulas?
Let's go. Game number 4. Let's versus K. Let's see what will happen. 2-1. Let's is leading, and K is now trying to catch up on that series, or he wants to force a game number 5. And let's see, their strategy is a little bit of like what happened on game number 3. They're just playing it safe. They want to take down all the armors first as much as possible, but K is now doing the damage early here for our game number 4 as he won that line number 3. But Let's is now returning the favor as well on line number 2. There's a immune status for like 7 seconds. There's also a barrier or a shield coming in for the side of Let's, but that line number 3 is getting some damage against Let's. He is now at 610 versus 673, but there was a freeze once again. The Let's is still returning the favor, slowly getting there, slowly wants to get even. A freeze on line number 3. Let's is now trying his best to push down this lane. Will see another stock up lane? No, we don't. This is Let's line number 3 will take advantage as he will drop a massive damage from 573 to 301. 432 is for the HP of Litz. Let's see if K can catch up here on game number 4. Line number 4, we have another tug of war here, and Litz is slowly getting that damage done. He wants that push. He wants that damage. He wants that armor to be zeroed. And we can see here on line number 4, another tag of war. K wants that power up or armor. Let's see if it's going to work. But I think Let's will win game number 4 and he will move on to the semifinals.
Congratulations, Liz! Wow, that was a 3-1 score, so we don't have game 5, but still it's a good game for Litz versus K, and congratulations, Litz, for advancing to our semifinals. All right, so let's take a look at our current bracket list and see who will fight for our semifinals, third competition and final game. All right, let's check.